Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be looking at something I'm sure you've seen everywhere. Holistic wellness.
Yeah,
It's more than just a buzzword, though.
that
And we really
branches.
want to go beyond just like those surface level tips
Absolutely.
to understand like what it really means to approach well-being holistically.
Exactly. We're going to be using your source material to really cut through the noise and give you the insights that matter.
Perfect. So the material starts off by saying that holistic wellness isn't just about avoiding illness, but actively pursuing balance,
Yeah,
which, I mean, sounds great in theory,
it does.
but what does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, it's a shift from treating symptoms to preventing them in the first place. So think of it like this.
Okay.
Instead of waiting for your car to break down, you're doing regular maintenance to keep it running smoothly. Holistic wellness is about taking that same proactive approach to your whole self, your mind, your body, and your spirit.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
The source material then goes on to lay out four core principles:
Mm-hmm.
balance, prevention, individualization, and integration.
Mm-hmm.
And these seem pretty straightforward, but I have a feeling there's more to them than meets the eye. Where should we start?
Yeah, let's unpack balance first. It's not about striving for perfect equality in all areas of life all the time. Some days, work might demand more attention, while other days, your focus might shift to relationships or personal growth.
Okay.
It's about recognizing that every area needs something different and ensuring that all aspects of your life are getting what they need to thrive.
So it's more about a dynamic harmony than just like rigid compartmentalization.
Precisely. And that leads us into prevention,
Okay.
which emphasizes building healthy habits to reduce risks in the future. Instead of waiting for something to go wrong, you're actively building your resilience and vitality.
That makes a lot of sense. It's about being proactive rather than reactive. But how does individualization fit into the picture? What makes it so essential in this approach?
Well, it recognizes that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to well-being.
Yeah?
Everyone has unique needs, unique preferences, unique goals, and what works for one person might not resonate with another. Holistic wellness encourages you to tune into your own body and create a plan that truly fits your circumstances.
So ditching those generic wellness trends
Yes.
and figuring out what works for you. Okay, that's a game changer.
Yeah.
Now, what about this last principle? Integration. What's the takeaway there?
Reintegration is the recognition that everything is connected.
Oh,
Our physical health impacts our mental and emotional state. Our social connections influence our overall happiness. It's a ripple effect. Holistic wellness encourages you to view your well-being through that lens of interconnectedness.
wow, that's profound. It's not just about isolated actions. It's about understanding how everything works together. Now, the source material goes on to outline 6 key pillars of holistic wellness: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, social, and environmental. That's quite a bit to cover, so let's break it down. Starting with physical wellness, what are some of the key practices here?
So, of course, exercise is key. The source material mentions yoga, Pilates, strength training, all great options.
Yeah.
But it's not just about hitting the gym, it's about incorporating movement into your daily life. Take the stairs instead of the elevator, walk during your lunch break. Those small choices can really add up.
I could definitely relate to that. Now, what about nutrition? That feels like a big piece of the physical wellness puzzle.
Absolutely. The source material emphasizes a balanced diet filled with whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and healthy fats. It also mentions the benefits of incorporating superfoods like turmeric, which is known for its anti-inflammatory properties,
Okay.
and is even being studied for its impact on brain health and mood regulation.
Wait, turmeric can boost your mood. That's fascinating. See, this is what I love about these deep dives, you know. We get beyond that surface level and uncover those surprising nuggets.
Yeah.
What else stood out to you in the physical wellness section?
The emphasis on sleep. The material really drives home why those 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep are non-negotiable.
Yeah.
It's not just about feeling less groggy. It's about giving your body time to repair tissue, balance hormones, and consolidate memories.
So skimping on sleep actually makes us less sharp and productive
In the long run, yeah,
in the long run. I think a lot of our listeners, especially those busy learners, will want to hear that.
definitely.
Now let's move on to emotional wellness. How does that fit into the holistic picture?
Well, emotional wellness is about understanding and managing your emotions effectively.
Why?
It's about developing emotional intelligence. being able to navigate challenges, build healthy relationships, and cultivate resilience when faced with stress.
That sounds incredibly valuable, especially in today's world, which can feel so emotionally charged at times.
Yes.
But how do we actually cultivate emotional intelligence? It sounds like a pretty complex skill to develop.
It might sound daunting, but the source material highlights some really practical practices. One is stress management. Techniques like mindfulness, deep breathing, or guided meditation can help to regulate your nervous system and calm your mind when you're feeling overwhelmed.
Those are all great tools to have in our back pockets. What else can we do to boost our emotional well-being?
Journaling is another powerful practice. It provides a safe space to process emotions without judgment.
Yeah.
Whether you're tracking your mood over time or gaining clarity on challenging situations, it's like having a conversation with yourself on paper. It can lead to some really insightful aha moments.
I've heard about the benefits of journaling, but never really understood how it works. That explanation makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Now, what about relationships? I imagine they play a huge role in our emotional health.
Absolutely. The source material emphasizes building and nurturing healthy relationships, the kind that provide a sense of belonging, support, and love. These are essential for emotional well-being.
They are, but let's be real. Not all relationships are positive.
Yeah.
How do we deal with those that might be draining or even toxic?
Yeah, that's a great question. The material actually acknowledges that managing those tricky relationships is crucial for emotional health. It's about setting boundaries,
Ah.
recognizing when a relationship is no longer serving you, and having the courage to step away when necessary.
It's a reminder that we deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift and support us,
Mm.
not drain our energy.
Right.
Now we've covered physical and emotional wellness. Up next is mental wellness. What are the key takeaways here?
Mental wellness is all about keeping our minds sharp, focused, and resilient.
Mm-hmm.
One key practice highlighted is engaging in mentally stimulating activities,
Okay.
like reading, doing puzzles, or learning new skills.
Those sound like fun ways to keep our brains active.
They are, and the material also emphasizes the importance of mindfulness practices for improving focus, concentration, and overall mental clarity, which, for our learner audience, is probably music to their ears.
Yeah, it is. But let's be honest, in today's digital world,
Right.
distractions are everywhere.
Yes.
How do we combat that constant influx of information and stimulation? I know I struggle with that constantly.
You and me both. The source material directly addresses that by emphasizing the importance of limiting digital distractions. It's about setting boundaries with our devices, taking breaks from screens, and being more intentional about how and when we engage with technology.
Okay, I definitely need to work on that.
Yeah.
Now, before we move on, is there anything else crucial for mental well-being that we haven't touched on?
Yeah, the material highlights the benefits of pursuing hobbies and engaging in creative activities. Whether it's painting, playing music, writing, gardening, whatever sparks your interest, it's about finding outlets that bring you joy and allow you to express yourself.
It's all about finding that balance between mental stimulation and creative expression.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've covered physical, emotional, and mental wellness. Now let's move on to a topic that can be a bit more personal and nuanced. Spiritual wellness. What does that entail?
Spiritual wellness is about connecting with something larger than yourself,
Okay.
whether it's a higher power, nature, or simply a sense of purpose and meaning in life.
Mm.
It's about nurturing that inner connection and finding what truly resonates with you on a soul level.
That sounds deeply personal and honestly a bit mysterious. How do we actually go about cultivating spiritual wellness? Are there any concrete steps we can take?
Well, the source material suggests practices like yoga, meditation, and journaling as ways to connect with your deeper self.
Oh, okay.
It also encourages exploring your values and understanding your purpose in life, asking those big questions like, what truly matters to me? And how can I align my actions with my beliefs?
So it's not necessarily about religious rituals or dogma, but about aligning your actions with your values and finding that sense of purpose?
Exactly. And sometimes that sense of purpose comes from contributing to something larger than ourselves,
Okay.
which connects nicely to our next pillar, social wellness.
Oh, I like how you're weaving these pillars together. It really highlights that interconnectedness we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
So let's dive into social wellness. What are the key takeaways here?
Social wellness is about nurturing healthy relationships, building strong connections, and fostering a sense of belonging.
Hmm.
The source material emphasizes the importance of community and support systems, highlighting how important our friends, family, and social groups are for providing emotional and practical support.
It's about having people we can lean on when times get tough and celebrate life's joys with.
Mm.
That sense of connection is so crucial.
It is, and the material also points out the benefits of engaging in social activities.
Okay.
This could be anything from joining a club to attending community events to just spending quality time with loved ones.
Yeah.
It's about those interactions that help us feel connected, supported, and part of something larger than ourselves.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, just like with emotional wellness, it's important to recognize that not all social connections are healthy. What are some tips for managing relationships that might be draining or even toxic?
The source material encourages us to be mindful of the people we surround ourselves with and to identify relationships that might negatively impact our well-being. Sometimes it's necessary to set boundaries, communicate our needs, and even make the tough decision to step away from unhealthy dynamics. Remember, your well-being is a priority.
I love that reminder. We can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've made it to our final pillar, environmental wellness.
Yes.
This one feels especially relevant in the today's world with so much focus on climate change and sustainability.
hmm
How does it fit into the holistic wellness picture?
Environmental wellness is about recognizing the interconnectedness between our own well-being and the health of the planet.
Okay.
It's about creating living spaces that are harmonious and supportive, reducing our exposure to toxins, making sustainable choices, and connecting with nature.
So it's not just about recycling or using less plastic. It's about understanding that the choices we make have a larger impact on the environment and ultimately on our own health.
Precisely. The source material suggests practical steps like decluttering our homes to create a more peaceful space,
Really?
opting for natural cleaning and personal care products, and incorporating sustainable practices into our daily routines. Small steps can make a big difference.
Those are all things we can start doing today to make a positive difference. The source material also emphasizes the power of spending time in nature.
Yes.
Why is that so crucial for environmental and overall well-being?
Well, research is showing how nature literally impacts us on a physiological level. Exposure to sunlight boosts vitamin D production, fresh air improves lung function, and the sights and sounds of nature actually have a calming effect on our nervous systems.
Wow. So we're truly hardwired to thrive in nature. It
Yeah.
makes you realize how important it is to step away from our screens and reconnect with the natural world.
Absolutely. And that connection with nature can also foster a sense of awe and wonder, reminding us of the beauty and interconnectedness of life, which can have a positive ripple effect on our spiritual and emotional well-being.
That makes so much sense. Okay, we've covered all 6 pillars of holistic wellness: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, social, and environmental. That's a lot to take in. But before we wrap up this first part of our deep dive,
Yeah,
I think we should give our listeners something to ponder to really integrate what we've discussed so far.
I agree.
So thinking back to those 6 pillars, which one feels the most out of balance for you right now? And what single small step can you take this week to shift it? It could be as simple as scheduling a walk in nature, trying a new healthy recipe, or committing to 5 minutes of meditation each morning. Remember, every step counts. We'll be back with part 2 of this deep dive soon, where we'll go deeper into specific practices and actionable strategies you can use to really bring holistic wellness into your life. Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into holistic wellness. The last time we left off, we were talking about those 6 pillars of holistic wellness. Yeah, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, social, and environmental.
And you left our listeners with some great food for thought, thinking about which pillar feels the most out of balance and what small steps they can take to shift it.
Yeah, hopefully that got them thinking about where they're at.
Exactly. Now I'm ready to get even more practical.
Yeah.
Our learner listeners are probably eager for those actionable steps that they can take away from this deep dive.
It's not enough to just understand the concepts. We need to be able to actually apply them, right?
Exactly. So let's dive into some specific strategies and tools. Where should we start? Well, the source material emphasizes the importance of creating a personalized wellness plan. Remember, individualization is key. It's not about following a generic program. It's about figuring out what works best for you.
Yeah, so step 1 is that self-awareness.
Right.
Taking stock of those 6 pillars and identifying which areas need the most attention.
Right. Once you have a sense of where you're at, then it's time to set some SMART goals.
SMART goals.
Yeah, that means making your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound.
So instead of just saying, like, I want to eat healthier, a SMART goal might be, I'm going to eat at least 5 servings of vegetables every day this week.
Exactly. By making your goals concrete and trackable, you're much more likely to stick with them.
It makes so much sense. Now, are there any daily practices that the source material recommends, things that can have a positive impact across multiple pillars?
There are several. One of the most powerful practices is mindfulness.
Mm,
Even just 5 minutes of focused breathing or a guided meditation each morning can set the tone for a more present, calm, and intentional day.
I've heard so much about mindfulness, but honestly, I've always felt a bit intimidated by it.
Yeah, it can sound kind of daunting, but it's really much simpler than you think.
Okay.
And there are tons of great apps and resources out there to guide you.
Yeah.
The source material actually mentions Calm and Headspace as good options.
Okay. I have to check those out. What else is on the list of daily practices?
Well, we already touched on the power of gratitude journaling, which can boost emotional and even spiritual well-being.
Yeah.
It's amazing how such a simple practice can really shift your perspective.
Absolutely. And it only takes a few minutes each day.
Right. Another crucial practice is movement.
Okay.
The source material really emphasizes finding enjoyable ways to move your body throughout the day.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be a grueling workout. Take a dance break, walk during phone calls, do some stretching while you're watching TV. It all counts.
I love that. Making movement part of your lifestyle rather than a chore.
Exactly.
What about practices that target specific challenges? For example, what if someone is struggling with stress or anxiety?
Well, the source material highlights several really effective tools for managing stress. Deep breathing techniques like box breathing or alternate nostril breathing can quickly calm the nervous system.
I've heard of box breathing. How does that work?
It's actually surprisingly simple but very effective.
Uh,
You basically inhale for a count of 4, hold your breath for 4, exhale for 4, and hold again for 4. And just repeating that cycle for a few minutes can really help to regulate your breathing and calm your mind.
Okay, that sounds easy enough to try. What other stress-busting techniques does the source material mention?
Another one is progressive muscle relaxation,
Okay.
where you systematically tense and release different muscle groups in your body. This can be really helpful for releasing physical tension, which often accompanies stress.
Interesting. It makes sense that by relaxing your body, you can also calm your mind.
Exactly. And the source material also mentions aromatherapy, which can be a wonderful tool for stress relief.
Oh,
Certain essential oils, like lavender or chamomile, have calming and grounding effects.
I'm a big fan of aromatherapy. I love diffusing lavender oil in my bedroom before I go to sleep. It's so relaxing. But what if someone is looking for more structured support beyond these daily practices?
Yeah.
What other options are out there?
The source material encourages exploring holistic therapies like acupuncture, which can address a wide range of physical and emotional imbalances. It also mentions Reiki, which is a gentle energy healing technique.
I've heard a bit about acupuncture, but I've always been a little nervous to try it. What's it like?
So acupuncture involves the insertion of very thin needles into specific points on the body.
Right.
It's a very safe and generally painless procedure, and it's been used for centuries to treat a variety of conditions.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I might have to do some more research on that. What about Reiki? What exactly is energy healing?
Reiki is based on the idea that we all have an energy field surrounding our bodies.
Okay.
And a Reiki practitioner uses gentle touch to channel energy into your body, promoting relaxation and healing.
That sounds intriguing. Now, I know some people might hesitate to try these therapies because of cost or accessibility.
Yeah, that's a valid concern.
Are there any tips for overcoming those barriers?
Well, the source material points out that holistic wellness doesn't have to be expensive.
Okay, good.
Community acupuncture clinics often offer sliding scale fees, making it more affordable.
Hmm.
And many massage schools have student clinics where you can get discounted treatments.
That's great advice. It's about doing a little research and finding resources that fit your budget. Now, before we move on, there's one more point I wanted to touch on. The source material talks about the importance of connecting with others on your holistic wellness journey.
Oh, that's so important.
Yep.
Sharing your experiences, challenges, and successes with others can be incredibly motivating and supportive. It's about building that sense of community and knowing that you're not alone on this path.
Exactly. So what are some ways to cultivate that connection?
Well, the source material suggests looking for support groups or online communities that align with your interests.
Hmm.
There are groups for everything from meditation and yoga to healthy eating and sustainable living.
That makes sense. Being surrounded by like-minded people can really make a difference.
It can. And even just talking to a friend or family member about your wellness goals can provide a sense of accountability and support.
This has been such a practical and informative deep dive. I'm already feeling inspired to incorporate some of these tips into my own life.
Yeah, me too. It's all about finding what works for you and making those small, sustainable changes that add up over time.
And don't forget, you are not alone on this journey. There's support out there if you need it. Now, in the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore how holistic wellness is becoming more integrated into modern healthcare, and we'll delve into those long-term benefits. Stay with us. Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into holistic wellness. We've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
from those core principles
Hmm.
to practical tips,
Yeah.
even stress-busting techniques.
Yeah, we really went beyond the surface, haven't we?
We have, and one thing that's become clear is that this isn't just some fringe movement.
Right.
Holistic wellness is making its way into mainstream healthcare.
Yeah.
Our source material actually highlights some exciting trends that are really bridging that gap between conventional medicine and those holistic approaches.
It's an exciting shift for sure.
It is so.
One trend that really stands out is the rise of functional medicine.
Okay.
And instead of just treating symptoms, it aims to identify and address the root cause of disease.
So it's about looking at the whole person,
Yes.
their lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
diet, stress levels, environment, to
Exactly.
really understand those underlying imbalances.
Yeah, and it often incorporates things like lifestyle changes and nutritional interventions alongside conventional treatments.
That makes so much sense. It's about seeing that interconnectedness of
Yeah.
all those factors that we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of personalization, the source material also highlights the growing field of personalized nutrition.
Oh, this is a fascinating area. We're moving away from those generic diet plans and toward a more individualized approach, which is really exciting.
Right, because we're all unique individuals with different genetic makeups, lifestyles, dietary needs.
Absolutely.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. And personalized nutrition recognizes that. It uses things like genetic testing, microbiome analysis that's looking at all the bacteria living in our gut,
Okay.
even lifestyle assessments to create dietary recommendations that are tailored to each person.
So it's like having a nutrition plan designed specifically for you based on your unique needs and goals.
Exactly.
That's amazing. What other trends are bridging the gap between holistic and conventional care?
The source material mentions telehealth, which has really taken off in recent years,
Yeah.
making healthcare more accessible and convenient.
Mm.
People can connect with practitioners virtually from anywhere,
Oh, wow.
which is especially helpful for those in rural areas or with limited mobility.
I can see how telehealth would be a game changer for accessing holistic services that might not be available locally.
Absolutely. It's opening up a whole new world of possibilities.
It is. Okay.
So now let's shift gears and talk about those long-term benefits of embracing a holistic approach to well-being.
This is what I'm really curious about. We've touched on some of the positive impacts throughout our conversation, but let's paint a fuller picture.
Yeah.
What can people expect if they commit to this journey?
Well, the source material really emphasizes that holistic wellness isn't just about feeling good in the moment. It's about creating a foundation for a long, healthy, and vibrant life.
It's an investment in your future well-being.
Exactly. And the benefits extend across all areas of our lives.
Okay.
Physically, you can expect things like improved immunity, reduced inflammation, better sleep, more energy, and a lower risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, diabetes, and even some types of cancer.
Those are some pretty significant benefits. It sounds like a ripple effect of positive changes.
It is. And mentally and emotionally, you can expect things like greater resilience to stress, improved focus and concentration, a greater sense of calm and clarity, more balanced moods, greater self-awareness, and even improved relationships.
Wow, that's a pretty incredible list.
It is.
It sounds like holistic wellness empowers you to show up as your best self.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the spiritual benefits,
Yeah.
that deeper sense of fulfillment and peace that comes from cultivating a sense of purpose, connecting with something larger than yourself, and practicing gratitude and compassion.
It's about nurturing your whole being,
Yes.
mind, body, and spirit.
Exactly. And of course, all of these benefits extend outward, impacting your relationships and your community as a whole.
It's like that ripple effect we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
When you prioritize your well-being, everyone around you benefits.
Precisely. The source material even suggests that embracing holistic wellness contributes to a more compassionate, connected, and sustainable world.
That's a powerful vision. It's inspiring to think that by taking care of ourselves, we're also contributing to something much larger.
Absolutely. And it all starts with taking those small, consistent steps toward a more holistic way of life.
Well, this deep dive has been an incredible journey. I feel like we've covered everything from the core principles, practical tips, inspiring trends. Those are profound benefits of this approach.
I agree. It's been a truly comprehensive exploration.
I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to start incorporating some of these ideas into their own lives.
Me too. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Making those choices each day that support your well-being.
And remember, you are worthy of investing in your health and happiness. Don't be afraid to seek out support when you need it,
Yes.
whether it's from a healthcare provider, a therapist, or a supportive community.
That's so important. This is a lifelong journey, and we don't have to go it alone.
Exactly. And there will be ups and downs,
Oh, yeah.
challenges and triumphs along the way. But by committing to a holistic approach, you're really setting yourself up for a life filled with vitality, purpose, and well-being.
Beautifully said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into holistic wellness.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me.
We hope you've learned something new, gained some valuable insights.
Yes,
Most importantly, feel empowered to take charge of your well-being.
that's what it's all about.
Until next time, stay curious and stay well.